Before this video starts, I'd just like to make a point saying that I recorded this video before I went to Cedar Point, as I expected I'd upload it before then, but I wasn't able to. So, I have some minor things that aren't too accurate, like me saying that I may like Maverick's restraints, or that my coaster credit count was 74, which it's now 81. Just don't mind those things. They aren't accurate, but they're very minor, so it doesn't really do much to the video. Anyway, enjoy or hate it. I don't really care. Howdy and hello everyone, I'm Red, this critic and you're the viewer, and today I'll be saying the most controversial thing I have ever said. Actually, the second most controversial thing I've ever said. Velocicoaster is overrated. Today I will be looking at a few things about Velocicoaster that I do and don't like, and in the end I'll be saying where it ranks for me. I'll give you a hint, it's not my number one. So, let's get started. Con 1. Not every row is good. Now, I was only able to get one ride on Velocicoaster. Wait. Before you go typing in the comments, let me explain. I tried to get another ride on Velocicoaster, but I wasn't able to, as we had a limited amount of time, and the line was barely moving. And my one ride was assigned in row 5, also known as literally the middle of the train. And from what I've seen, the back and front seem great, but because of them assigning rows, chances are I wouldn't even be able to get those 2 rows. Now, if you take a drive down to Tampa, and the reason why I make a point about this is because Iron Gwazi, the ride that is always compared to Velocicoaster, is great in every seat. Now I know this not because it got multiple rides, which I did by the way, but because after my ride in the middle, I noticed it was still great, and while yes, the back is better, every row is great. Meanwhile, after my ride on Velocicoaster, and I had time to think about it, I realized that I was very disappointed. I didn't get any airtime, I got only hang time. The launches were powerful, but still just okay, and everything was just mediocre. Speaking of getting no airtime, the ops staple you. Weirdly enough, on my ride on Velocicoaster was the only time I actually knew the operator meant to staple me. I pulled down my lap bar, and right as they went to check, I was completely sealed to my seat. And this ruined all of the airtime, specifically the top hat. There was no airtime at all on the top hat, and even where the middle row should be getting airtime, there was none. And I know which operator you get differs, so not everyone will be stapled, but the crew was stapling that day, so this is what I have to judge it by. Anyway, now time for some pros. Pro 1. The theming is great. Things I liked about Velocicoaster was the theming. It reminded me of something in Europe, specifically a ride like Terran at Phantasialand. They are both intimate blitzes, and they are both very well themed. And this coaster in the theming is also like in Critic Coaster at Disney's California Adventure, where it is literally themed to a roller coaster. With Velocicoaster, it is themed to a roller coaster that was built in a raptor paddock. And a nerdy detail that I love is that the front car actually has lights that keep away reptiles. Yes, those lights are actually the same lights that have been shown to keep away reptiles. And that is just cool. And they actually say this in the queue, and that just tickles my inner nerd. The queue is very well themed too, and it's air conditioned, which is a pro because I cherish every time I had air conditioning in Florida, so this queue is pretty good. Pro 2. The restraints are great. Velocicoaster has the modern intimate trains. You can also find these at Pantheon at Busch Gardens Williamsburg. These trains are very spacious, with you only having a lap bar, allowing hang time to be very good with these trains. These are hydraulic restraints, so you can pull them at whatever position you like, assuming the ride-ups don't staple you. And while I don't mind the restraints on Cheetah Hunt, and probably won't mind the restraints on rides like Maverick or Intimidator 305, which have the old intimate trains, I do prefer these. Con 3. The ride is forceless. Oh boy, I'm going to get so much hate for this. Yes, you heard me, Velocicoaster is forceless. Like, I didn't get any true forces on this ride. The most were on the entrance to the top hat. Other than that, there was no forces. And as I said before, no airtime. It was basically just moving around on a track while going fast. And while yes, this is a good track, it doesn't do anything. Gone 4. The mosasaurus roll is bad. It's bad. It doesn't do anything. It doesn't make a weird force or give a weird feeling. It's just a roll. And I much prefer the death roll on Iron Gwazi. The final verdict. So yeah, that is why I think Velocicoaster is overrated. Now, if they didn't assign rows, and if the ride-ups didn't staple you on certain days, then it would certainly put up a fight against Iron Gwazi and a certain other intimate in the park. But just the fact that you have to pray you get the back row or wait for the front, and how you have to hope the ops don't staple you, it's just too much for this ride to be good. And for me, Velocicoaster ranks 17 out of 74. And in case you haven't figured it out, yet, Hagrid's ride in the same park that people usually rank below Velocicoaster ranks higher at number 6. So that means, yes, to me, Hagrid's is in fact the best roller coaster at the Universal Orlando Resort, because you don't have to try to get a good ride on it. So there you have it, Velocicoaster is overrated. And until I come back to Florida, most likely for the opening of Epic Universe in 2025, it will stay that way. So, hope you liked this video, subscribe if everyone subscribing, leave a like. And I was Ray the Coaster Critic, you're the viewer, and I'll see you in the future. Goodbye.